Hey, what's good with it, folks? Your boy AG of the BHB. So what's my top best summer fragrances of 2020? I'll get to that in just a second. But first, to all y'all that's coming back to see me again, man, I appreciate y'all being here. For the rest of y'all, if you're new to the channel, man, welcome to Trailz. Like I said, I'm your boy AG. Around here, I do reviews, unboxings, top 10 lists, pretty much anything that's fragrance related. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, man, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Matter of fact, when the screen pops up, go ahead and hit the bell. That way, anytime that I put out a new video, you're gonna be one of the first ones to know. Now let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so I know summer officially started a few weeks back, so I'm a little late, but I still wanted to give y'all my top 10s list, being as how the official end of summer is about 2 months away. So, you know, this will definitely be relevant for some of y'all who are trying to pick up some fresh fragrances for this summer, man. So what makes a summer fragrance? So for those of y'all who've been in the community for even just a little bit, y'all probably already know. But for those of y'all that are not in the know, you normally want to go with something that is light, fresh, aquatic, or ozonic, or pretty much something that's just not too heavy or too sweet. Reason being is because once the oil starts to heat up, they start to project a lot stronger. So if you're wearing something that's too strong or got too much going on, you're definitely going to offend or choke people out around you. So you definitely will get noticed, and not in a good way. So pretty much everything on this list is gonna fall under that, pretty much nothing too heavy. So with that out of the way, let's get into the fragrances. So I do have a few honorable mentions. My first honorable mention is Unforgivable by Sean John. Now I really love the citrusy fresh vibe that this one here has. Like the main notes in this one is tangerine, mandarin, rum, you got lemon, bergamot. Like this start here is just like a freshy, citrusy bomb. And of course, those who've been in the community for a minute know that this one here is an inspiration of Creed's Millésime Imperial. Now this one doesn't smell exactly like that, but it does have that similar type vibe. Whereas this one here to me tends to be a little bit more fresher. The only problem with this one here is its performance. It doesn't have the best longevity. It doesn't last very long, at least not on my skin. I probably only get about, I don't know, like 4 hours on this one here. But at the price that you can pick this one up, man, you can just easily respray whenever you need to make a touch up. So this is definitely a fragrance that I love to wear during the summertime, especially when I'm near the beach. Like this is a favorite beach fragrance of mine. If it's summertime and I'm going to a city where there's a beach, or I happen to be near the beach or a pool, man, this is definitely one that I like to wear. So I definitely recommend this one, Unforgivable by Sean John. So my next honorable mention is 212 Men by Carolina Herrera. Now this one right here, man, this has been out for a while now, for quite some time, but it is still one that I like to reach for. Like this one here, man, is my workhorse fragrance. If I'm ever running out of the house and don't know what to wear and don't have time to actually select something, it's an easy dumb reach for me. You can easily wear this to work. We can wear this casually out and about. You know, it's just an easy dumb reach. The main notes in this one are green notes, grapefruit, bergamot, you have spices, ginger, lavender, and the best part about this one, it is very long lasting. I can put this one on in about 10 hours and I can still smell this one on me. So this is definitely one I recommend. 212 Men by Carolina Herrera. So my next honorable mention is one that those of y'all who have been in the community are probably quite familiar with. This is one that has made other reviewers' summer top 10s in the past. It is that summer clean freshie, and that is Mugler Cologne by Terry Mugler. Now this is one of my favorite summer clean, fresh out the shower type scent. Now as the story goes, Terry Mugler happened to have been in Morocco when he came across a bar of soap that he really enjoyed the smell of. So he wanted to have a fragrance that would bring about that scent, and that's how this one came into existence. Now this one here is no longer known as Mugler Cologne, as the whole brand has been bought out already and is no longer Terry Mugler. It's now, the brand is just known as Mugler. And under the new brand, they ended up dropping out 4 other versions of this one. So now they have 5 fragrances called Mugler Cologne. So if you're looking for this one under the new brand, it is called Mugler Cologne Come Together. Now under the new brand, it's supposed to be the exact same fragrance. So I've heard from others that under the new brand, it has been reformulated. And so therefore the projection and performance of this fragrance has definitely suffered a little bit, but I believe you can still find the older bottles of this online for a fairly good price. But this one here, man, is definitely an awesome fragrance when you want to be smelling fresh and clean. If you know you're going to be out there sweating and going to be hot and everything, this one right here will keep you smelling fresh and clean. This one's so good that it even inspired Creed to put out their own inspired version of this one under the name Original Vetiver. So this one right here, man, is definitely a good scent that I definitely recommend. And this one lasts about 8 to 10 hours on my skin. So this is definitely an honorable mention that I recommend. Now my next honorable mention is another summer favorite to a lot of reviewers, and that fragrance is Artisan Pure by Varvatos. This one opens up as a citrus bomb. You get the notes of clementine, petitgrain, thyme, lemon, bergamot. This one right here is awesome, man. I know a lot of y'all already know how awesome this fragrance is, but for those of y'all that don't know, man, this is definitely one that you can pick up for cheap. Like I said, it is a summer favorite to a lot of people. The only drawback to this one, and the reason why I didn't really rank on this list, is because of the fact of its performance. Anybody who's familiar with the Varvatos line, y'all know that they suffer from performance. They're normally not the best at projection or longevity. But this one here is a beautiful scent, man. If you don't mind respraying often when needed, then this is one that you definitely would want to pick up, man. This is why this one makes a lot of people's top 10s. This is one that I definitely recommend, Artisan Pure by Varvatos. All right, guys, now my last honorable mention before we get started on this list is a fragrance that I'm actually kind of sad that it did not make the top 10, but that just goes to show you how strong of a top 10 I feel I have on this one. That, as you've already seen, some of these fragrances that are my honorable mentions are ones that are normally on people's top 10. And the fragrance that I'm talking about is Preciate Man Oh Fresh. Man, this one right here, it is definitely one of the best summer fragrances that is out there. This one here is fresh, aquatic, woodsy with a Mediterranean type feel. And the main notes on this one is lemon, bergamot, starfruit, cedar, musk, tarragon, and cardamom. This is another fragrance that is not only a summer favorite of mine, but it's one that I like to wear to the beach or to the pool. You know, this is a good casual type fragrance. And it's also one of my most complimented fragrances on this list. Now you're probably asking yourself, now why isn't this one ranked? Well, I tell you what, if this top 10 was ranked by most complimented, this one definitely would probably be in my top 5, maybe even my top 3 fragrances that gets me the most compliments in the summertime. But unfortunately, this top 10 here is fragrances that I'm most looking forward to wearing this summer, as well as performance, you know, the longevity and projection of the fragrance. So that's the reason why this one actually didn't get ranked. Plus, on top of that, there's another Versace fragrance on my list that I actually enjoy just a little bit better than this one. So if you get a chance to try this one, go ahead and pick this one up. And that is Versace Man Oh Fresh. All right, guys, so on my number 10 spot is not only a fragrance that I love to wear to work, but it's also that other Versace fragrance that I told you was on this list. And that is that Versace Pour Homme. Now, I love this fragrance right here, man. This is definitely a good work fragrance for me, man. This one here is classified as an aromatic fougere with the main notes of bergamot, lemon, neroli. You have musk, you have tonka, and cedar. And this one here also has good performance. Nothing great, but I get about a good 6 to 7 hours on this one. So for a lot of people, man, that's about a good work day performance. But if you like, you can always carry this with you if you need to refresh around that 6th to 7th hour to carry you through the rest of your work day and onto your home. But this is definitely one that I recommend. For my number 10 spot, that's Versace Pour Homme. Now for my number 9 spot is one that just came out this year. And the fragrance that I'm talking about is Azzaro Chrome Aqua. Now this fragrance right here, man, for those of y'all that are familiar with the Azzaro Chrome or any of its flankers, y'all know that outside of Chrome Legend or possibly even Chrome United, there hasn't really been a lot of flankers that just really stood out. So when I put my nose on this one, it definitely took me by surprise. Now for those of y'all who don't know what a flanker is, the flanker is kind of like if you were to take a song and you were to remix it. You get enough of the original to know what it was inspired by, but different enough for you to hopefully enjoy the newer version. So that's what a flanker is when it comes to fragrances. It's kind of like a remix to the original. Now this one here is a fresh, aquatic, aromatic type fragrance that also has green notes of mint, basil, cedar. And those of y'all that follow me on Instagram, y'all know I love vetiver fragrances, and especially fragrances that have violet. And this one here has violet leaves as well as vetiver. So naturally I was going to enjoy this one. And the performance on it is pretty good on it also. So this is definitely one that I recommend for y'all to pick up. But honestly, I think this one right here probably would be a safe blind buy unless you just don't like vetiver or violet leaf. But I mean, other than that, this right here is a really good fragrance. So this is why this one made my list at the number 9 spot. And that is Azzaro Chrome Aqua. So for my number 8 spot, I got Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Eau Fraiche Andre edition. Now, this is one that I don't see a lot of people talk about, and I don't understand why, because this one right here smells great to me. Now, this right here is a flanker to the original Le Male. Now, when I first went to order this one, I was trying to find videos on it, and I couldn't find anything really on this one. The only thing I could find videos on was the Superman version and the Popeye version of Le Male Fresh. Now, why nobody talks about this one, I'm not sure, but this one right here, man, this one right here is a great smelling fragrance. Now, what I've been told is that all the Jean Paul Gaultier or Le Male Fresh fragrances all tend to smell similar, like the Popeye, the Superman, and this one, apparently they all tend to smell alike. However, I've never smelled the other one, so I can't confirm or deny, but what I can say is when I tried looking up the notes for this one on Fragrantica, I did notice that they all have different notes. They appear to be slightly different. The main notes on this one is mint, aldehydes, vanilla, you got tonka, you got amber, and I know all those sound like sweet notes, and I told y'all at the beginning of this video, you normally don't want to go with super sweet fragrances in the summertime. However, this one here is not an overly sweet, it's actually a very lightly sweet type of fragrance. Like even the vanilla in here is not a heavy dose of vanilla. So for those of y'all who've been watching my videos for a while or follow me on Instagram, y'all know that I love my sweet type fragrances. So if I can have a sweet type fragrances that works good in the summertime without being overly sweet or choking people out around me, you know I'm gonna like it. So I definitely recommend this one, man. Now, this has become a lot harder to find, but if you look, you can still find this popping up on your online discounters. So keep an eye out for this one and pick this up while you still can before you can no longer find this one like the Superman or the Popeye. This is definitely a good performing fragrance that I recommend for the summertime if you like a fragrance that is lightly sweet. So for my number 8 spot, that was Jean Paul Gaultier's Eau Fraiche Andre Edition. So for my number 7 spot, man, is a fragrance that I had trouble deciding for this spot. Now this fragrance right here is a flanker to the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue series. A lot of y'all really love the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. Unfortunately, that is not the one that I decided on. Like the one that I'm really enjoying right now, man, is the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Sun. Now it is somewhat along the same lines of the Light Blue Intense. Obviously, it's one of the light blue flankers, but this one right here is just really one that I'm really enamored with at the moment, man. Like I really like this one right here. And the best part about it is, to me, on my skin, it has similar performance as the Light Blue Intense. And the main notes on this one here is grapefruit, ozonic notes. You have bergamot, you have coconut, you have rosemary, vetiver, and you also have the note of ginger. This one here is definitely one of the better flankers from the Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue series. This is a great casual scent, man. Like I said, it has great performance on this one. In all honesty, right now, this is one that I'm really digging, and who knows, maybe next year this one will actually end up making the ranking. So for all of y'all Light Blue Intense fanatics, man, I apologize, but number 7 best summer fragrance of 2020 is gonna be Light Blue Sun. All right, guys, so for my number 6 spot is Valentino Uomo Aqua. I ended up going with Uomo Aqua instead of a lot of people's favorite summer office fragrance, and that is that Prada L'Homme. Now, the reason I went with this one, man, is because, like I said, I tend to like fragrances that tend to lean on the sweeter side. You still get that clean iris type scent that you do in the Prada L'Homme, but you also get a little bit of added sweetness, probably due to the mandarin orange and the tomato note that you find in this one. It also has the notes of leather, sage, and patchouli to help round this one out. But this one here is a great office scent to me, and I just wanted to show it a little love because this is probably going to be the last time you will see this on any of my top 10 lists. Because I normally don't like to add fragrances to my top 10 list that are discontinued, or when you do find it are like overly priced. And I have a feeling that that's what's going to end up happening to this one, because this has been discontinued already for a little bit, but you can still find this one at your online discounters. So while you can, I would probably suggest that you try this one if you can, but if not, man, you should definitely pick this one up. I definitely recommend this one. I get about probably a good 8 to 10 hours on this one. The only drawback to this one is that it's not the greatest projector, man. I probably get around an elbows to an arm's length, but this is a great smelling fragrance in my opinion, man. One that you should pick up while you still can. And that's why this one made my number 6 spot. And that is Valentino Uomo Aqua. All right, guys, so we're down to our final 5. So now for my number 5 spot, and it's another new fragrance that just came out this year, and I immediately, as soon as I smelled it, I enjoyed it and fell in love with it right away. And the fragrance that I'm talking about is Stronger With You Freeze. Now, I already loved the original Stronger With You. So the moment that I knew they were coming out with a summer version, I just knew I had to have it. I just had to get it. I had to put my nose on it. And sure enough, man, it did not disappoint, because it gives you like a frosty, icy type of version, fresher you know, a fresher version of the original Stronger With You. So this definitely will work in the summertime. It's better suited for spring, but I do find times to actually wear this in the summertime, especially when the evening times, or I actually feel like this one here will work great if you're gonna go on a date, you know, or, you know, you're gonna be with your loved one or something like that, man. You know, this is actually good for the day as well, but I would not recommend wearing this on a super hot and humid day. But other than that, man, I still like this one here in the summertime, man. Now this one here, man, has the notes of ginger, vanilla, lavender, you get lime, you get amberwood, cardamom, green apple, and mandarin. I mean, that's just some of the few notes that's in this one, man. But I'm telling you, man, this one right here is definitely worth putting your nose on. If you love the original Stronger With You, this one I don't think will disappoint, because this one is a more versatile version of that, because I still feel like you can actually use this one here also in the fall as well as the spring and the summer. Maybe not so much in the wintertime, but this is more versatile than the original. And this one lasts a long time and it projects pretty well also. But yeah, man, this one right here is a great pickup, a good release for 2020 in my opinion. So for the summertime, man, on my number 5th spot is Stronger With You Freeze. For my number 4 spot is one that's on a lot of people's top 10 summers list. This one here is definitely nothing new to a lot of people. And the fragrance that I'm talking about is Paco Rabanne's Invictus Aqua. Now this one right here, man, you get that fresh aquatic and citrusy type scent. Now I know some people like to complain about, you know, reformulation, because this obviously isn't the 2016 version, but I mean, I never put my nose on that on 2016 version, but I could tell you, man, this one right here is awesome. So if you feel the 2016 version is better, I'm not gonna argue with you, but I could definitely tell you that this one right here is definitely worth owning and wearing in the summertime. That's why it's in a lot of people's top 10 list. And this one here is definitely awesome, man. So it's gotta be on mine as well, because this is a long lasting fragrance. You get pretty good projection on this one also. Nothing great, but it's, you know, but pretty good. And man, it just has you smelling fresh, man. I get a lot of compliments with this one as well. And this has C notes, yuzu, ambergris, you have vita leaves, one of my favorite notes. Now, if you've been in the fragrance community for a minute, then I'm pretty sure you already know how this one smells. But if for some reason you're new to the fragrance game, or for some reason you just haven't put your nose on it, definitely get this one. I mean, in my opinion, this one's a safe blind buy anyway. So even if you don't get a chance to put your nose on it, I definitely recommend that you pick this one up, man. So for my number 4 spot, man, that was Invictus Aqua. So for my number 3 spot is a Bulgari Aqua flanker that I really enjoy during the summer and springtime. Now, if you've been following me for a while on either on Instagram or seen any of my videos, I've talked about this one before. For my number 3 spot is Bulgari Aqua Atlantique. You knew this had to make my list, man. I love this one right here. So the easiest way for me to describe this one is if you were to take Bulgari's Aqua Marine and you were to mix it with Dior Sauvage, then this is pretty much what you would end up with, man. So you get that aquatic marine type of scent from the original Bulgari Aqua Marine, of course, with, like I said, with those Sauvage type notes, man. And it's just this is an awesome fragrance right here. I'm trying to tell you guys, I can still smell it in the air right now. And this is a long lasting fragrance. I don't put this on before, worked a 12-hour shift, and even hours after I left my job, I was still smelling this one on me. So this is a 12+ hour fragrance right here. So this is worth every penny for me. Now, some of the main notes in this one, man, is C notes, ambergris, water notes. You get lemon in here, you get bergamot. Like, this is very citrusy as well. Now, the only reason that I didn't have Sauvage on here is because, like I spoke about it before, when it comes to like spring and summer, man, I just like that fresh aquatic version of it, you know. So that's why I enjoy Bulgari's Aqua Atlantique, and that's why this one here made my number 3 spot. So for my number 2 spot, man, it was one of the hardest spots for me to choose. Like, out of everything on this list, man, this one I really had to think about it. The only thing I knew for sure is that for this spot, it was going to be an Acqua di Gio fragrance. I knew that for a fact. It's summertime, you have to have an Acqua di Gio fragrance on your top 10, man. If you don't, I'm going to assume you have not put your nose on any of the Acqua di Gio fragrances. Pretty much any of those, in my opinion, belong on somebody's top 10s list. So this was a hard one for me to choose, man, because y'all know how I feel about this Acqua di Gio Absolute. And if you don't, man, I urge you to go check out my top 10 springs list where I talk about this one here, and y'all see why I love this one so much. And the other one that I was thinking about putting on this list was this Acqua di Gio Profumo. Now, this is one that makes a lot of people's top 10s list. So I would have chose any one of those two, but I recently acquired one of the newest Acqua di Gio flankers. And no, I'm not talking about Absolute Instinct. I'm talking about Profondo. Now this one right here, man, just came out this year. This one here is definitely Aqua de Gio cashing in on the whole blue fragrance craze. Definitely a mass appealing fragrance right here. One that I've really been enjoying a lot here lately. And this is definitely a long lasting fragrance, so it'll have you smelling good from the moment you leave the house until you make it back in the door. Now if y'all want to know more about this, man, I just recently put out a video on my first impressions of this one where I go into a little bit more detail on it. So if you want to go check that out, man, I'll go ahead and put a link in that one. But yeah, this is definitely one that I recommend you put your nose on it, man. So for my number 2 spot, man, that was Aqua de Gio's Profondo. So for my number 1 spot is another 2020 release. But what can I say, man? There's been quite a few releases this year that were actually really good. As you see, man, I had like, what, 4 new releases that came out this year on this list? So for my number 1 spot, though, is the 2020 release of Y.O. Fresh by Yves Saint Laurent, man. Like this one here, like, I really enjoyed this one a lot. And just like you see the frostiness on this glass, man, when you pop this one open and smell it, you definitely get like that icy type vibe. Like if you ever chewed on a piece of ice or just smelled ice up close and you kind of get the icy freshness from it, man, that's what you get on this one, as well as the original Y DNA. Now in my opinion, man, this is definitely better than the original Y. I put this on, man, it puts a smile on my face. Now this one here is just a nice, fresh, cooling type of fragrance, man. You put this one on, man, it'll have you smelling good even when it's hot outside. So this one definitely works good for high heat as well. This one here has the notes of lemon, ginger, you get lavender, geranium, and mint in this one, man. Like those are just some of the main notes that's on here. I'm telling you guys, this is definitely an awesome fragrance. If you enjoy the Y line, this is definitely going to be one that you enjoy for the summertime. So that was my top 10 summer fragrances of 2020, my designer edition. And hopefully you enjoyed this list. So like always, if y'all have any questions or y'all didn't agree with my list, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Or if you agree with it, or if there's other fragrances that you feel should have been on this top 10 list, let me know as well. And then if you found this video informative and y'all enjoyed it, go ahead and give me a like. But like I said, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And when the screen pops up, go ahead and hit the bell. That way, anytime I drop a new video, you're gonna be one of the first ones to know. And also, y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of stuff on there as well. And like always, man, I appreciate y'all being here, man. I'll holler at y'all on the next one.